for almost a decade. And in 2017, we launched our GPON product, and have been closely involved with the support for the GPON product. So on the screen, you see we have a brief overview of the typical architecture where the Tejas OLT and ONT are deployed. So here I have a brief snapshot of a BSNL FTTH system. So we see that the OLT and the ONTs are located here through a splitter mechanism here. And on the uplink, we have the Ethernet connection, and then you have the BSNL OCLAN router and the cloud. And this cloud connects to the internet through a PPPoE server. And then the cloud also connects to a SIP server, where you have the voice services. And then you also have a management path, wherein you can do the monitoring of all the ONTs and OLTs through the NMS. So this typical architecture is available in the BSNL system, and most of the private networks also deploy a similar architecture. So now let's go deep into the products which we have deployed, the OLT and the OLT. So first, I will give an overview of our OLT. So if you see here, right here on the screen, on the table, I have placed our Tejas 1U 8-PON ports OLT. So this is a pizza box OLT. So you can see here that it's a very compact system, and it can be rigged up by just keeping on a simple table. So all you need is a laptop, and then you can see this yellow LAN cable. So this is used for to do the local login to the OLT and do the configurations. And on the left side, you see white color is the ONT. And some of the important items which are used in GPON, I have put it on display here. I understand many of the participants will be already involved in GPON activities. So you may be knowing of these inventory. So this is the splitter. This is a 4-port splitter. On the left side, you see 1 port input and then 4 output ports. And here you have a typical fiber cable. So the green is called the APC connector, and the blue color is called the SCPC GPON connector. And then you have the attenuator SCPs placed on the desk. So now going a little bit more into our OLT. So this is a 1RU model, and it works on AC or DC power supply as per the customer requirement. And here we can see this is a more close-up of our product. So on the right side, you have the uplink Ethernet ports. So we can connect optical SFP or even the electrical SFP on which the LAN cable can be connected to the uplink. And these ports are all the GPON optical ports. So we have 8 ports numbering from right to left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the left side, we can see a yellow LAN cable. So this is used for connecting the laptop directly to the OLT. So our OLT has 6 uplink ports. So the port 1 to 4, port 1, 3, 5, 6 can handle 1G traffic, and P2 and P4 are configured to handle 10G traffic. And the downlink ports are typical GPON ports. 8 PON ports are there. So downstream 2.5 Gbps and upstream 1.2 Gbps as per the GPON standards. So it is advisable to connect blue SC-UPC type of connectors. So I'll straight away log into the OLT. As you can see here, the LAN cable. I'm logging to the OLT UI. So this is a default screen of our OLT. So we can see here, there's a default IP 192.168.1.254. So the moment I type the IP address, I can use a normal Firefox browser or Google browser, and I need to enter the credentials, stages, and the password. The moment I log into the OLT, I see a home page. So this home page, let me just zoom here. So I have a provision here called router ID. This is where the IP address of the OLT will be entered. Suppose I want to do a remote management of the OLT. So that IP address will be entered here. For local access of the OLT, the default IP is 192.168.1.254. So that is what I have logged in here. Locally, I have logged into the OLT. Then I have here options to set the contact address and the location names. So next is, so on the left side, we see a lot of folders here. So these folders have a lot of advanced settings. So this is very typical, like operating like a normal Windows operating system. So you can click the folders and you have a very easy GUI navigation to perform the various operations on the OLT. So this folder system time, here we have option for setting the system time, and then here we have option for setting the NTP server. So we can see here that this particular OLT is connected to an NTP server 22.50, and every 16 seconds it will be getting synchronized. The node date and time will be getting synchronized. So in the normal operation, the syncing to the date and time, the accurate date and time is very important, because all the alarms and all the connection creation, it will be logged with this relevant date and time. So it will be easy for us to track when what alarm has occurred or when what circuit or service has been created. Now I'll go into node inventory. So this screen, it shows me the AC power supply card, and it shows me the fan tray card, and it shows me the processor card. So let me go straight away into the fan tray. So the fan tray shows me the current running temperature of the OLT. So it is now 34 degrees centigrade. Now coming back to the power supply card. So this power supply card, it shows present, means it's working. So I'll go back here. So it shows operation status up. So when I say operation status up, it means the card is in a working condition. And present, whether the inventory is present or not. Now coming into power supply, I'll show you here. Input voltage monitor, we have an option. So currently the voltage is 246.3 volts. So I can have a threshold like 265 and under voltage 90. So the moment my input voltage will cross these values, I will get alarms in my system, whether it is high voltage crossed or low voltage crossed. So this is the voltage monitor. Now let me go back. So I showed you the temperature, I showed you the voltage monitor. Next is the various SFPs in my system. So currently in this particular demo OLT which I am showing here, you can see here there are 3 ports here. So this is the PON port number 2, PON port number 6, and PON port number 7. So there is a SFP, class C plus, class B plus, so different types of SFPs can be inserted here. And whether the SFP is working or present is shown here. This one, Ethernet 111, this is the uplink SFP. So this is an optical SFP with a 80 kilometer capability and a wavelength of 1550 nanometer. So in short, what we can see here is in a single table, I'm able to see whether all my SFPs are working, what are the type of SFP, serial number, part number, and what are the types of cards. Next is I'll go into the details of the ports. So when I click the ports, I see here the 6 Ethernet ports. So the 6 uplink ports are there here. So currently my traffic is configured on uplink port number 1. So that is why I see operational status up and then Ethernet port number 1. Yeah. So here Ethernet port number 1 is currently configured for the data traffic. So admin status is up, and here we can see this is the laser. So the 1G capacity. So what is the status of the laser? We can see the laser is on, and the laser RX and TX power can be seen in the UI itself. So this shows that the port is active. Next, I will show you the various ONTs connected onto the OLT. So the left side, we have a folder called GPON. So I navigate into that, maintenance, and then there's a table called manage ONT. So in this window, all the ONTs which are connected, I can monitor the status of the ONTs. So for example, I see here one ONT, 1-1-2-3. So this is a ONT which is having a physical status activated, means currently running. So this is a Tejas model 12W ONT, and this is the serial number of the ONT, the 16-digit hexadecimal serial number. Now in red color, we seeing deactivate. It means that this ONT is in down condition. I can filter port wise also. So on port 2, I see here that I have one running ONT. So I have two running ONTs and remaining ONTs are in down state. Now I want to know what is the optical power of this ONT. So I click here and I have a table here, optical power RxTX. I can do a refresh button here. So immediately the optical power of that running ONT is displayed here. So green means the optical power is within the recommended conditions. So we can see here Rx. So Rx is minus 10 dBm and the Tx power of the ONT is 2.0 dBm and Rx power at the OLT PON port is minus 50. So we can see here in single table, I'm able to monitor whether my ONT is running or not running. So next, I have a ONT on the PON port number 7. So again on PON port number 7, we can see several Tejas brand ONTs are connected and several ONTs are running. So 1174, we can see. We can see the optical power is minus 8 and minus 16. And in PON port number 6, we can see we have several other brand OLTs also here. We can see here these are not the Tejas brand OLTs. So these brand OLTs are also able to run. They are supported in Tejas OLT. So Tejas OLT not only supports the Tejas brand ONUs, we are able to run any other brand ONU also, which are meeting the GPON G.911 standards. So I have shown you the view of the ONTs and I will show you the view of the connections. So these are the GPON connections, the service connections on the ONT. So currently I have given you an access from a working ONT. I will show you the view of the ONT also. So this is I have logged into the Tejas ONT. So currently I have logged into the internet connection, the Wi-Fi service by the name Power Room Wi-Fi. So this is the ONT which is giving the from where the internet connection currently I am providing the presentation. So I have logged into the ONT with 192.168.1.1. So this is the ONT. We can see here. This is a model 12W, and this is the details of the ONT. So this is the ONT serial number 58D44C. So this is located here. I will show you here. Apply. So we can see here. This is the ONT details. So 1-1 stands for chassis number 1, and this is the card number 1 and port number 2. PON port number 2 in that ONT ID 8. So this is the 8D4C ONT. So this ONT I have logged in locally here. We can see this is the optical power Rx. The receive power of this ONT is minus 5.96 or 1.97. And we can see here the other details of the ONT. So this is the service details. So I have made a WAN configuration in the ONT. So this is the MAC address on which the service has been created, 8D50. And this is on VLAN 218. And we see that this is a PPPoE service and it shows status connected. And the ONT has been assigned a IP 249.105. So this is a PPPoE service which I have commissioned. This is actually a BSNL FTTH connection. And I will show you the speed test also. See, we can see here I connected through Wi-Fi and I'm getting a speed of 150 Mbps. So let me test here again. In live, we can test the speed of the traffic. So currently I applied a speed test. So we can see the download speed is around 157 Mbps. And the upload speed also is very handsome. So here I have actually a 200 Mbps connection. So I'm getting the Wi-Fi 150 Mbps on this particular ONT. So next is I will go into the service details, how the service is created on the ONT. So this is actually a ONT number 8. So I can filter here. So let me open in a new window. So this is the ONT number 2-8. So I'm filtering here. So on this ONT, I have created a Wi-Fi service, and this is basically a RG mode connection. And these are the details. So we can see here every connection has a created time. So the date timestamp when the connection is created, that can be easily recorded here. And this is the VLAN number of the connection 218, and this is the gem port ID. Now I want to know whether the service is running fine. How do I check remotely? I'm not in the customer site. I want to see from the remote NOC location. So what I do is I go into the uplink services, L2 services. So here I have to filter out the uplink connection. So this is the VLAN number 218. So I have created an uplink connection for VLAN number 218. Here I have a option here called performance counters, and I have an option here for observing the MAC address. So let me go and observe the unicast MAC address. So here I can see that ETH111 is my uplink. So this is the BSNL router. So this MAC address is the BSNL's MAC address, and 202 is my PON port 2. So this is the MAC address of my ONT. So we can see here, I'll show you live on the web. There's a site called macvendor.com. MacVendor lookup. So here, the moment we type the MAC address, it will show which device it is. So this is a Tejas Networks device. So this MAC address is obviously coming from the PON side, ONT. So traffic from the ONT side is received. Now whether my uplink traffic is connected, I want to check. So let me put this MAC. So we can see this is a Juniper Networks, this is a router. So the uplink router and the Tejas ONT, both the intercommunication is success and the authentication is successful. So by this way, I can conclude that my service is working. There's another way of concluding also. We can see the live performance counters. So here, there's an option called current interval. So when I refresh my screen, we can see here octets transmission and octets receiving. So this is the bytes going outside my Tejas OLT towards BSNL, and the RX, this is the receive, the bytes coming from the internet server into the ONT or the OLT. So when I refresh my screen, we can see here the number of bytes, they are going on increasing. So by this way, I can conclude that the traffic on this particular ONT is running and working fine. So these are the methods for monitoring my service. The next is we have an option for alarms. We have here on the left side, I'll show you. For purpose of monitoring, we have something called a fault window. So here we have all the types of alarms which are appearing on the OLT. Now I want to know, I will simulate an alarm for you. So let us see a live ONT. So here I have a manage ONT. So here we see that there is an ONT 1123. 1123, this is active. So this ONT is active. So we can trigger a reboot for this ONT. So from remotely, we have option here, ONT reboot. So we have to filter out the PON port number 2. And then we select this 1123, and then we click reboot. So the moment we click reboot, an alarm will be generated, loss of signal. So we'll go here, active alarms. So we see that we have a alarm here for 1123. So there is a alarm, and when the reboot occurred, there is alarm there, loss of signal. And when the reboot is getting completed, there will be a clearance of the alarm, cleared loss of signal indication. So this means that we have a very good mechanism here to see all the history of the events. Now I will generate a fiber cut. I will generate a fiber cut on PON port number 7. I will show you here, PON port number 7. So in this window, we can see the PON port and the ONT tree. So here now we see that the PON port number 7 operation status is ready. And this is the SFP. So SFP is getting a TX power 4.0. So this PON port is active right now. I will create a fiber cut. Let us see what is the alarm. So here in my event history, I need to get a alarm here. So now we can see on the screen, there is a alarm, loss of signal. So let me zoom here. So we can see here, Tejas port 117. So on PON port number 117, there is a loss of signal alarm. So this alarm has happened at on 8th of November at the time 1603. That's 4 o'clock. So now let me restore this alarm. Meanwhile, we will just see the status of the PON port. We can see here operation status not ready because there is a fiber. So now I am restoring the fiber on this. Let's verify whether the alarm is getting clear. Now we see that the PON port status is operation status ready. And we see here that the alarm is also cleared. We can see here this line, cleared loss of signal on the PON port number 7. So we have an entire event history record here. So this is a very big advantage for any network operator. So we are able to store, as you can see here, more than 3 lakh. Already it's 282,000 events. So around 3 lakh events can be stored. Roughly about 1 month of data will be able to be stored here. So we have a good record of all the faults which have occurred and cleared in the network. So the next feature which I want to show you on the screen, so as I showed you here, the ONT reboot feature. Then we have a feature for software upgradation also. So we can upgrade the software of ONT remotely. So we have to first upload the software from the laptop to the OLT. And from there, we need to go to the ONU and select which ONU number we want and the software image, and then trigger the upgrade. And we have a upgrade, remote upgrade feature for the OLT also. So I'll show you here. So this option, we can remotely upgrade a software or a firmware into the OLT. Not only the ONU, but OLT software remote support is given here. So next is the software version. In this menu, we can see the software version. Then we have system restart options. For some reason, the system is hanged and you want to restart the entire OLT. So we have a remote option here to trigger a restart. And then we have some security features here. So if you have a radius server, we can enable the radius features here. And if you want multiple users, you can add multiple users for logging to the if you're Tejas OLT. Then we have another interesting feature for the remote management. So this is configuration. So we have a feature here for ERPS configuration also. We can see in this L2 services folder. So here we have a feature for creating a ERPS ring and ringlets. So ERPS ring provides you the uplink protection. Then on the PON side, to create a type B protection, we have a feature here, add PON protection. So we can create a type B PON protection for 2 PON ports. So if one port is fiber cut, the traffic will automatically switch to another PON port without any disturbance. Then we have a feature here for providing the downstream bandwidth control. So if you want to control the downstream bandwidth, we can provide control here. Suppose I want to limit the traffic to 20 Mbps or 30 Mbps, I can create a profile and implement it in my downstream GPON connection. Then going into the ONT details, I will show you we have some remote feature here. You can see here. There's a remote feature here to send or push the details of the voice. Suppose I'm giving a VoIP connection. We can see here I can push the SIP server details. Here it's a domain name format. So here in this particular site, the BSNL is giving the SIP server detail in domain name format, like ktk FTTH VoIP.bsnl.in, and the phone number, password. So all these can be remotely pushed and it will automatically appear in the ONT. I'll show you, see this is my ONT here. In the voice, you can see here, all the voice details are pushed. All my voice details are currently seen here. Automatically it can be pushed remotely. I don't need to visit the ONT site. And then here I have the option for Wi-Fi configuration also. We can see here, add new Wi-Fi config. So here, the ONT is a dual band ONT. So it has a 2.4G and a 5G band for the Wi-Fi services. So I can give SSID and password remotely. I don't have to go to the site of the ONT. So these are some of the remote features available in the ONT. So this is my currently running ONT. So we can see here physical status, it is activated and ready. Physical status activated. So this is the model number of the ONT. This is a 12W model. And if I want to assign an IP address for the ONT, I have an option here, IP host configuration. I can assign IP address to the ONT and I can take the ONT management remotely. So whatever we are seeing here, this screen. So this is actually the ONT window. So this screen can be remotely managed if I do a IP host configuration for the ONT. Going back. So this is the Wi-Fi configuration which I showed you, and configuration file details. So suppose I want to restore the configuration of the ONT remotely through this method. I can remotely, I need to have a file in my laptop, and then I can remotely push it to the particular ONT. So let me go back to my FAQ. So let me see if I have left out anything, any other feature which need to be shared to you. So these are the 4 types of services which we currently support in our ONT. So VIP service. So VIP service is nothing but a standard broadband service on the WAN, typically this is a service given on the Wi-Fi antenna of the ONT. So we can configure VIP type of service in our OLT. Then HSI is the bridge type of service. So standard point-to-point Ethernet service. So this is the service directly delivered to the ONU port of the ONT. So we don't have to do any local login into the ONT and do any configuration on the ONT. So that is the HSI type of service. VVS is a service like HSI, like a bridge service, but it is a multi-VLAN service. So we can give up to 8 number of VLANs. 8 number of VLANs can be pushed in a single port, single service. Then VoIP service. So this is a normal voice service on a RJ11 copper-based telephone system. So this is a service which I showed you now. We can directly push from the OLT URL. So some other things which I want to share with you. So we have LEDs on our OLT. So through LED, visually, we can find out whether the link is up or down. So the screen which you can see here, this is the PON port. So it has a TX LED and RX LED here. So when they are green, it means the PON port is up. So RX is red means signal not receiving. On the right side, you can see the uplink port. So the dual fiber uplink port. So TX RX, so it has a 1G or a 10G capability. And with the LED, you can see it's green color. So we know that the link is up. So we have a YouTube channel. I will show you a YouTube channel. So this is our private YouTube channel on which you can view several of our videos. We have a channel. I'll show you here. The name of the channel is FTTH Solutions India. So this is our channel. So you can make a note of this. So we have several videos where we have explained the procedure to log into our OLT and the procedure for taking the backup, how to restore the backup file into OLT or how to take the data backup of OLT. And we have a video here describing the basics of the GPON system. So how so we can see here this is our video wherein we have explained the basics of the GPON and how to operate our equipment or OLT. So we can see here, I explained the various procedures. So you can make note of this channel. So this is the channel FTTH Solutions India. So I'll show you a few photograph of our latest dual band ONT also. So this is our ONT which we have supplied to our Airtel partner. So we can see here there are two antennas are there. It's a dual band and it's a compact system. So it has LEDs here, power LED and the fault LED, and it's got the Wi-Fi indicator LED. So this is the backside of the ONT. So this is the place where the green PON connector is connected, the fiber, and this port is for the landline telephone system to be connected, copper phone telephone system. And we have two LAN ports here of 1G capacity. And then here you have the WPS button for the 2.4G band and the 5G band. And then you have the Wi-Fi off and on button. And then here you have the power supply connector and then the power button to off and on the ONT. So this is the overall picture of the ONT, the compact dual band Wi-Fi ONT. So Prashant, I think I have covered most of the portions.
Okay.
I got the live demo of running surveys. So anything else to see? Can we take questions?
And it's fine. I think it's fine.
Okay.
If
Okay.
anything,
Thanks, Karthik. Manish this side. Can we take questions, Prashant, now, one by one?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I'm able to see one question right now. Can we configure or push the configuration on third-party ONT via this OLT or only Tejas ONT? Now, any third-party ONT is also you can push the configuration. So this is from Mr. Deepan Mistry. He asked about this. Using the Tejas OLT, any third-party ONT can we configure or not? Yes, we can do that. Okay, the next one is how to use the TR69. TR69 is kind of a ACS server. Okay, so this is the management protocol. But this is it's about the ONTs and then the ACS server. The OLT will be transparent in this. Okay, which you can do the configuration or management anything from this.
Yeah, Prashant, just I would like to add a point. On the screen, I'm sharing the TR69 window. So the question which you answered, right? So
yeah,
the Tejas ONT, as you can see on the screen, if you have a ACS server, you can enter the credentials here and you can monitor the ONT remotely using the TR69 server. Yeah, you can proceed.
Okay, then how to loop back configuration from OLT? I think Karthi, you can take this question.
Sorry, what's the query?
How to loop back configuration from OLT? Mr. Rajat is asking how to loop back. Is loop back on which side?
Yeah, we have a, for purpose of testing, we have a loop back facility, but I mean, like we have loopback protection. It's in the software inherently we have the protection, so we don't have to separately configure loopback. So if they are referring to something like a DHCP snooping, I mean to avoid a loop of DHCP, yes, we already have the inbuilt mechanism. So we can see here we have the option to set the DHCP relay profiles.
Okay. Now I'll take the question of Mr. Shine. What about CLI? Okay, there are some basic CLI commands which is already available right now. Okay, and the next.
That's a very basic version of CLI as of now.
Yeah. Then the next question from him only, Mr. Shine. What about your switches? Switches is a different portfolio. So in this webinar, we are not handling that right now.
As of now, we have not released for ISP LCO market, and it will take some time. So we will inform in due course of time when we are launching for this segment. Yeah, I can see one question. If restart OLT takes, yeah. So we have reduced earlier, it was 30 minutes. Now it is gone to 8-9 minutes, and we are working to reduce the rebooting time to 3 to 4 minutes. So very shortly, we will do it also.
Okay, Dhanaji, there is one more question. How to create service profile of SFU on HGU ONT? Karthik, you have any?
Yeah, typically any ONT which supports the GPON standards can be connected to our ONU. So if you have a bridge type of connections, we can connect to the, we can create a HSI profile. So yeah, that is the answer to the query. If you want to do any bridge connections, we need to create HSI profiles.
Okay, I think we have covered most of questions. Do one thing, I mean, Prashant, you just share our contact numbers so we can speak offline if anybody has got any queries. No issue.
Yeah, and we can share the FAQ also. The FAQ explains the various profiles.
Yeah, we will send FAQ to all participants. There is no issue. Okay.
So we have come to the end of the live demo session. So I hope all the participants got an overview of the comfort of using the Tejas product. As you can see, the convenience of a very attractive GUI and very easy to use GUI, and which has several features and monitoring capabilities. So Prashant, we'll close the session.
Yeah, just a minute. We'll share the contact details. Okay. I think. Okay. I request all the attendees to make a note on this. Please feel free to contact us for further inquiries.
Anyway, thanks a lot, all participants, for your precious time. And we would continue to do such type of workshop in next week onwards. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks to everyone.